Now, where can we apply everything that we've learned inside this chapter so far? Well, first of all, make sure you get rid of everything on your screen. So I've wiped out all of my shapes that I've drawn out here, and I'm going to close out of this little tearaway flyout here for my tools there. And what we'll do is we'll trace out a pencil drawing that I've done for us here. So I'm going to head up to the File menu here and down to Place. By the way, this is how to import content inside Illustrator. And on your desktop, look for your Illustrator Project Files folder. I'm using a shortcut here for mine. Head into the Chapter 2 folder, and there you will find a file called ink.tiff. So I'm going to drop this guy onto my page. There he is there. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit by hitting Command plus here on the Mac, or of course Control plus on the Windows side. There's our pencil drawing, and we want to try and ink them with our shape tools. So I've zoomed in here. The other thing that I'm going to do is I want to lock this object down, this imported graphic here. Right now, by the way, let me show you this. I'm going to zoom way in on this guy, way in. I'm using Command spacebar or Control spacebar on the Windows side. And what I see here are pixels. So this is something that I would get inside Photoshop, for example. But of course, here in Illustrator, everything is vector-based. So everything is made up out of mathematical lines using anchor points and paths. And again, we'll get to anchor points and paths in an upcoming chapter. But what we want to do is take this pixel-based drawing here that I've done, and we want to ink them out using our shape tools, as I say. So we've dropped them in here. The next thing that I want to do is I want to lock them down. So I'm going to go to the Object menu, down to Lock, and then Selection. And there's your keyboard shortcut. I always use this keyboard shortcut. Command 2 here on the Mac or Control 2 on the Windows side. So now he's locked down. I can't accidentally move him or anything like that. If I go to my black arrow tool, my selection tool in the toolbox, I can no longer select this guy. As a quick side note, what if I did want to unlock him? Well, I could go to the Object menu and then down to Unlock All. Now I can move around my artwork if I want, but I'm going to go back and lock him back down because we want to trace them out here. Okay, there it is. The other thing I'll do is I'll get my shape tools ready to go here. I'm going to grab the tearaway for my shape tools. And I'll zoom in a little bit closer on our first robot here. So Command plussing here. Set this guy up here. Okay, we are ready to go. The other thing that I'd like you to do is make sure that you have the same settings inside your color area of your toolbox that I'm about to set. I'm going to hit the D key on my keyboard here. That sets me back to Illustrator's default fill and stroke, which is a fill of white and a stroke of black. Now, the other thing that I want to do as well is I want to make sure that I do not have a fill. I do want the black stroke, but I don't want a fill. So I'm going to hit this little red guy here, which is none. That means now that I do not have a fill stroke. So when I start drawing out my shapes, I'm not going to get a fill, just an outline. Okay, so let's get started here inking our drawing. I'm going to start things off with my rectangle tool, and I'm literally just going to try my best to follow the pencil lines here that I've done. Now, it won't be 100% accurate, but I will be able to follow them to some degree of accuracy here. And I'm just holding down the spacebar, by the way. I still have my rectangle tool selected here, but I can hold down the spacebar and move my screen around as I need as I am inking out this guy here. So I'll do his chest area here, something like this. These buttons in here. This is all easy stuff. I'm just clicking and dragging here. No big deal. I'm going to switch to my oval tool or my ellipse tool just by hitting the L key here on my keyboard. And remember how to draw a perfect circle. Hold down Shift. There it is there. As a matter of fact, I'll go and do this guy's eyes as well. Now, I want to try and get these eyes a little bit more accurate here. So I'll hit the V key here on my keyboard. That switches me back to the black arrow tool. And of course, I can scale up these objects here. When you're grabbing these objects, by the way, these objects, obviously, they have no fill on them. So if you want to grab these objects, make sure you click right on the edge there. And that will select the object for you. Maybe you want to move it or delete it or something like that. Okay, I'm ready for his arms here. I'll hit the M key here on my keyboard. That switches me back to the rectangle tool. Really, it's just more of the same. Just clicking and dragging here to draw this object out. We'll do his arm here. Something like this. Those lines that I drew aren't perfectly straight, so you'll have to do your best there. Same story here. Something like this. I could do these buttons across here, but I'm feeling a little sluggish here. I'll hit the L key to go back to my ellipse tool, and I'll hold down Shift. Now, let me show you something real quick. We need 3 of these guys, right? Let's speed things up here a little bit. I'm going to hit the V key on my keyboard. That takes me back to my Move tool, and I'm going to copy this guy, Command C or Control C on the Windows side, and then I'll paste them just by hitting Command V on the Mac or Control V on the Windows side. And there's my duplicate, so I'll just drop him into position, and I'll paste one more time, Command V or Control V, and whoop, grab right on the edge there and pull that guy down. Perfect. I'll quickly do the other arm here. Back to the rectangle tool, M on your keyboard. Draw this guy out here, something like this. Hopefully pretty good. Okay, great. Now I'm going to go to my rounded rectangle tool, the second guy in my little tearaway flyout, and I'll get something like this. Now I'm getting really rounded corners there, so don't forget I can use the up and down arrow keys here on my keyboard to tighten up or loosen off those corners there. That's what they call the corner radius, by the way. Okay, things are looking good. Now, I'm going to leave the rest up to you. If you want to use your spiral tool to do his eyes there, his little googly eyes, the arc tool to do this shape on his chest there, you can kind of finish him off. And of course, here's the second guy, and you can certainly go at this guy with your shape tools here inside Illustrator. And there's some unique shapes in here as well. There's a triangle, there's again another rounded rectangle in here, and a star. And of course, you can use your spiral tool for this guy's eyes as well. All right, there's a look at the shape tools inside Illustrator. Hope you had lots of fun, and have lots of fun as well inking your two robots. I'll see you in the next chapter.